One day, they had to wait for Henry's train, which made Thomas very cross. How can I run my line properly if Henry is always late? He doesn't realize that Sir Topham Hatt depends on me. Thomas whistled impatiently. He wanted to leave, but he had to wait for Henry's passengers. Where have you been, lazy bones? Oh dear, my system is out of order. No one understands my case. You don't know what I suffer. Rubbish, said Thomas. You're too slow. You need exercise.
Oh dear, my system is out of order. No one understands my case. You don't know what I suffer, moaned Henry. Rubbish, said Thomas. You're too fat. You need exercise.
Phew, remarked Thomas. What a funny smell. Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas.
No one noticed it till you did, grunted Gordon. It must be yours.
Annie, Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is? It's ditch water. Blue is the only proper color for an engine. Oh, I don't know. I like my brown paint, said Toby. I've always been green. I wouldn't want to be any other color. Well, anyway, huffed Thomas, blue is the only color for a really useful engine. Everyone knows that. A large hopper was loading his freight cars full of coal. Thomas was still being cheeky. Careful, he warned. Watch out with those silly cars. Go on, muttered the cars. And by the way, went on Thomas, those buffers don't look very safe to me. Ha-ha, chuckled Percy. You don't look really useful now, Thomas. You look really disgraceful. I'm not disgraceful, choked Thomas. You did that on purpose. Get me out! Suddenly, Percy found that he couldn't stop. The buffers didn't stop him either. Oh, wailed Percy. Help! The buffers were broken, and Percy was wheel-deep in coal. Now Percy has learned his lesson, too. I'm going to the scrapyard today, Edward called to Thomas. What, already? You're not that old, replied Thomas cheekily. Hello, Thomas, said Edward. This is Trevor, a friend of mine. He's a traction engine. Thomas eyed the newcomer doubtfully. Percy, what are you talking about? The ghost train. Driver saw it last night. Where? Asked Thomas and Toby. He didn't say. Oh, it makes my wheels wobble to think of it. Puh, said Thomas. You're just a silly little engine. I'm not scared.
Later.
Thomas was being oiled up for his evening train. Percy's had an accident, cried Toby. Poor engine, said Thomas. Botheration. That means I'll be late. They've cleared the line for you, but there's something worse. Out with it, Toby. I can't wait all evening. I've just seen something, said Toby. It looked like Percy's ghost. It said it was coming here to warn us. Puh, who cares?
My branch line is the pride of the line, wouldn't you agree? Yes, Thomas, of course, but what, Percy? Out with it. All the other engines were talking about Stepney. He runs a famous branch line. Did you know that? Said Percy. Thomas was feeling a little jealous. Huh, it may be famous, but my branch is first on the line. Everyone knows that, too. And he huffed away to fetch his coaches. Next morning, Thomas was still fuming. Shunted. And on my own branch, too. It's a disgrace. I'm sorry, said Stepney.
Here's your freight train, James, said Thomas. have you got some bootlaces ready? Later, Thomas saw the tractor close by. Hello, said the tractor. I'm Terence. I'm plowing. I'm Thomas. I'm pulling a train. What ugly wheels you've got. They're not ugly. They're caterpillars, said Terence. I can go anywhere. I don't need rails. I don't want to go anywhere, said Thomas. I like my rails, thank you. You'll need your snowplow for the next journey, Thomas, said his driver. Puh! Snow is silly, soft stuff. It won't stop me. The snowplow was heavy and uncomfortable and made Thomas cross. He shook it and he banged it, and when they got back, it was so damaged that the driver had to take it off. Thomas grew crosser and crosser. Time's time, he grumbled. Why should I keep my passengers waiting while Henry and James dawdle about all day on viaducts? Don't blame me, snorted Henry. If we hurried across the viaduct, it might collapse, and then you'd have no passengers at all. What would you do then? Run my train on time, for one thing, retorted Thomas.
What's the matter with you, Henry? Thomas asked. My boiler's grumbling. Maybe it's grumbling at you. That's not funny. Hurry up, Henry, Percy tooted. I can't go any faster, Henry chuffed miserably. You're just being lazy, teased Thomas.
Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. Wake up, lazy bones. Why don't you work hard like me? He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. Wake up, lazy bones. Do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me.
Move aside, dirty Percy, chuffed Thomas. I'm the important engine today. But I need a washdown, wailed Percy. My passengers will laugh at me. But I have to be squeaky clean, huffed Thomas. So you'll just have to wait. I can't wait, grumped Percy. I'm a guaranteed connection. Thomas, Percy and Duck, I have a special job for you. You are to collect some scrap from the smelter's yard tonight. On Halloween? Don't worry. You will be back in time for the fireworks. Percy isn't worried about missing the fireworks, teased Thomas. He's a scaredy engine. I am not, called Percy. What's that up there? Thomas squeaked. Is it a spook? It's just a piece of twisted scrap, Percy said nervously. Isn't it? Thomas was having fun. He kept on teasing Percy. Careful the ghost engine doesn't get you, Thomas said. There's no such thing as ghosts. Back at the sheds, everyone thought it was very funny. You look good enough to eat, Thomas hooted.
Arthur's first job was to push a trainload of fruit to market. The truck started to sing. A root to toe, we want to go. The fruit's going off 'cause you're too slow. How rude, huffed Arthur. This gave Thomas a naughty idea. The Fat Controller doesn't like the trucks singing, said Thomas. You must stop them. Thank you, said Arthur. I will. Arthur was glad he could keep the trucks in order. He'll never stop the trucks from singing, laughed Thomas.